right. Hi, everyone. I'm Wendy Shell, the sales manager at Realty One Group Summerlin. Today we're doing a class on the rental process. If you are watching this, just email me and I can get you all the printouts because we're going to have a total of 3. There'll be one that's a front and back talking about the process steps, and then 2 of them that will actually go over some of our agents that have a really solid rental business on what they do in their process. But for today, we're going to start with just going through how the rental process works. Now, so for rentals, renters are considered customers, not clients. So keep that in mind. You don't need to do a duty zone because they are not a client of yours. They're just a customer. So you're considered a showing agent / door opener. That's really it, guys. So don't overcomplicate the process. Your job is just to kind of, hey, what do you need? Let me show you. Here's a couple of them. Here's where you need to go to submit an application. That is it. So I get a lot of agents that are like, okay, what do I do? How do I do this? How do I do that? Don't overcomplicate it. They're just telling you what they want to see. You open the door, let them see it. Okay, now go there to apply. Reach out to that agent, say, I'm connected with these people, so you are guaranteed a commission, and that is it. So I want everybody to just understand it's not like a full entailed 30, 45 days of paper, this and that and that. So when we go over it, renters are a great way to get your feet wet in real estate. It gives you practice on how to make calls, schedule appointments, and then gain access to the properties, right? Renters are great because sometimes if you get them into a rental, they turn into a purchase later on down the road if you can, continue to stay in contact with them. So it is a great way to build your sphere and add them to your CRM and market to them. If not them, they might know somebody that they will give you a referral to buy or sell. Some renters are lifelong renters. They're always going to rent, but other ones will turn into maybe purchasing. They might meet somebody and then they buy a house together. So it's always good to stay in contact with them, right? And market them. Let's see. With that said, don't overcomplicate the process, right? They are customers, not clients. Basically, you're just a showing agent opening the door to give them information on where to apply. That is it. There's only 5 documents that are needed for your file. The rental showing and compensation agreement, your rental referral agreement, the W-9 form, which you're going to get out of SkySlope, and that's 2 pages. There's nothing you have to do to the first page. The second page is just our 4 Realty One locations. You just circle the location where you want your check mailed to. The MLS sheet, the ER for available and the leased, and then the CDA when it comes time to, once you get your check, it breaks down of who's paying you and where we're distributing the money, right? So this actual steps, super simple. You're going to speak to your clients to verify, or customers to verify. You want to verify their moving time frame. It's going to go into great detail into these other 2 forms, but usually the landlords will only hold the property for about 2 weeks or less. So if they're looking to get a rental in 2 months, it's way too early to show them properties, right? You have to be clear on those time frames. So they might contact you in 30 days and say, great, keep an eye out on them, but we can't start looking for another 2 weeks because once you find it, that's it, right? So their moving time frame. Then the next big thing is if they're qualified. You guys need to qualify them before you take them out because some of them do not qualify even for rent. They're just not. They might have to go to an apartment where they're a little bit more lenient, and we don't help renting apartments. We help renting, condos, homes that people actually own, not an apartment complex. So, but the qualifying questions are income. They need to generally show 3 times the amount of that monthly rent as income. So if they're making, if the rent's $2,000, they need to show what, 2, 4, 6, 6,000 at least, to show that they are qualified, that they bring that in every month. If they don't, it's going to be very hard for the landlord. They might budge a little if they may put a little bit more money down. I don't know. Sometimes we've had this before where the tenants are like, hey, I want to pay 6 months in advance and then this and this. Again, it's all negotiable, but that's for them to negotiate, not you guys, right? You also want to check their employment history, their rental history, if they have any negatives, evictions or early outs or whatever might be. If they owe the past landlord any money still, what their credit score is. It's going to go into it. I've seen them, like some companies will take as low as 500, but generally it's 600 and above to get them into something, right? And then deposits. Make sure they have deposits. They're going to usually do a first, a last, security deposit, a pet deposit, a key deposit, a cleaning deposit. So it could be $3,000, $4,000 for them to get into that rental. And if they don't have that, then there's no sense in showing them. They can't get in. Every rental does have deposits that are needed before they get there, right? Then you're gonna, if that all works out, then you're gonna wanna do the search criteria. What area, what price, bedrooms, pets, appliances. This is the time you're gonna set up an automatic email search for them with that criteria. Once they choose some properties to view, that is when you will have them sign that rental showing and compensation agreement. You can do it before. Again, guys are independent contractors, so you're gonna figure out which steps you wanna put in which order for the most part. You might say, great, you qualify, sign this, then I'll set you up on a search. Other people are like, hey, I'm gonna set you up on a search. When you're ready to view, now you can go ahead and sign this. But that rental and showing compensation form, that is like a BBRA for renters. You have to have that rental showing and compensation form signed before you ever step foot in a house with them. Now, I can't make it clear enough that the division is coming down and they're looking, when we get something under contract, they're looking of when you had that rental showing or your BBRA signed and when you actually use that lockbox to get in that house. So it is super important because the division is gonna find us, they're gonna find you. And if you keep doing it, they'll revoke your license. It is super important that you have these forms signed before you actually go into any homes, right? All right. So, once the tenant signs that form, it must be uploaded into SkySlope within 48 hours. So there are steps to follow. Oh, actually, you know what? I don't think we talked about that. We were having you guys do it. Do not upload it. We're going to cross that out there. We're not uploading that form anymore. We're going to just let that go. You're going to hold it. They're going to sign it, but you're going to hold it because some tenants, they just don't ever pick homes and they go nowhere, right? So we want a whole bunch of forms in there. So you guys are just gonna make sure that they're signed, timed, and dated, and then hold on to that form, right? So how the process works, you pull up the properties that they're interested in, you put them in order that you might go and view them, and then you call each one to see if there's any applications in there that they already have, and then if you're able to make an appointment, and then ask the amount of the referral fee that they're offering, okay? On that rental showing agreement, you really do need to kind of put an idea of what you're getting. Okay, rentals, they compensate you a referral fee. It's not a commission. It's a referral fee, sometimes as low as $150, sometimes $500, $600, right? Well, you don't want to put $250 on your rental showing compensation, and then when you call them, find out that they're paying $500. You can't get that $500 because now, just like the BBRA, you're going to designate what price that you are charging. So my suggestion is have that conversation with your tenants. I'm going to put $500 here. I'm going to try to collect that from the listing agent or the property management company, whoever's listing that property. But if they say they're only paying me $300, that's up to you guys if you want to go back and have that tenant pay you the other $200 that we're missing, or you have the option of reducing it to just what that management company is offering you. So that's going to be completely up to you. Again, you're independent contractors, you decide your compensation, but you kind of need to put something, because if you put too low, you cannot go up. So it's easier to say, hey, I'll take less, but sometimes you go too high on that rental showing compensation form, and the tenants won't sign it. They're like, I'm not going to be responsible for that. I don't have that extra money. So you want to be realistic in that. The general rule is most of them are paying between $250 to $450, really. But if you want to collect more from your tenants, you can. You can say, this is what I get. I'm going to try to get all of it from them, but if not, you are responsible for it. So just keep that in mind. So you're going to call them, make the appointments, ask if there's any existing applications that have already been submitted, and then what they're being offered. If it's clear to go, because a lot of the agents, the rental showing agents, the really good ones, they're not showing the property if there's already 5 applications on it. There's no sense to show it when they're going to go in order. So now you've got to get all 5 of those rejected before yours even gets looked at, right? So think about how you want to do your business. You're gonna show the properties, and then when they find the one that they like and want to move forward, you are gonna inform them how to apply. On the MLS sheet in the agent-to-agent remarks, it will tell you, apply at this website, send an LVR contract, email it over to here, have them fill out this contract and drop it down at our location. You have to follow those directions, or the tenants have to follow those directions. Your job is not to fill out that application for them. Do not touch that it's kind of like the SRPD. Do not even write the date on there. It has to be them that fills it out, and everything has to be honest and truthful and come from them. So if it's an LVR form, you can print it off and say, hey guys, here's the LVR form that you get in that transaction desk. Here's the form, fill it out and take it down to this address. Or fill it out and email it over there, right? So once they do that, you're gonna go into the MLS sheet and you're gonna find out who that listing agent is, and you're going to email that listing agent, hi Mr. Listing Agent, my tenants, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, viewed your property at 123 Main Street. They just submitted an application today. I just wanted to connect myself to them. Here's my, what form is it? I get them so confused. Rental referral agreement form and my W-9. You're gonna email that over to them. If you choose their application, I wanna be ahead of the game, here's my information. And you send it to them. And then you just wait. Most of the time, they stop communicating with you and they just communicate with the tenant at that point. And then, so you're kind of relying on the tenant to tell you, yeah, I got accepted, and then you just wait. So you will have your MLS sheets also, right? So ER means available, and that's what you're giving to them when you're showing, and you've got an agent one. You need that to upload into SkySlope, right? If they get accepted. You'll need the ER one, and then you'll need the leased one at the end. Once they move in, this listing agent changes it to leased, and so you'll need those two MLS sheets, right? And then, let's see. So you sent that email over, you just wait for the tenant to tell you. Sometimes the property management company will say, okay, we're moving forward on your tenant, great. But they're really dealing with them, getting the deposits, doing the walkthrough, doing all that. You're not part of any of that, right? And then, let's see. The tenant will sign the lease. The tenant will make all the deposits and do the walkthrough. And then the property is removed from the MLS and changed to leased. You will print out that lease form and then put it into SkySlope along with your CDA, Commission Disbursement Agreement, and that just breaks down what fees and how you're getting paid. And then they disperse that, because we can't release your check, even though the property management company sends it over to us. We can't release it to you without that CDA form. So yes, so then with that. You send it in. Now, some property management companies only pay once every 30 days. So if it's at the beginning of the month and they don't pay till the end of the month, you might not be getting paid for a month. Just keep that in mind. We're at their mercy. Years ago, I did one, because I'll be quite honest, I did not really incorporate rentals into my business. And so when I get a lot of calls from you guys, I don't want to misspeak, so I'm going to get the answers for you and give you the right answers. But so I had to help someone. They were transitioning, they were getting a divorce, selling their home. She had to move out so we can list the home. So I got her a rental. After it sold, we sold her house. But in the meantime, I chased that check for over a month. Oh, I put it in the mail. Oh no, it should be, why didn't you get it? Do I have to recut it? Now there's a recut fee. I'm like, what's going on? A week later, he's like, oh, I never wrote it, never filled it out. Just come down here and come pick it up. So I'm like, are you kidding me? It was like $300. Like, but I'm going all around town trying to chase this check. Sometimes it happens for rentals, or then they just pay, you have to follow up. You want to get paid, guys, you're going to have to follow up, right? So that's why it's super important to send those emails. Now, when you are, if you're trying to chase a check, we only need one email that shows that you sent an email to that listing agent that says, here's my information, I'm trying to get paid for 123 Main Street. If they don't sign your rental referral agreement and they don't send you anything back, you can't get paid, or we've gotten paid, but we need something saying they're agreeing to pay you. They have to sign that rental referral agreement. If they don't sign it, you've already sent an email. You just print that email and now upload that into SkySlope. That's all we need to pay you. But without something that's signed by that listing side or saying that they've noticed it or acknowledged it, we can't release that check. So that's why we have those certain steps. Okay?
No, ignore me, just
So that's pretty much it. So, real quick, I just wanted to touch upon a couple of different ways, like one of our agents gave us 6 pages of how to do it, what questions to ask. Is very thorough. And then I've incorporated another agent's information, like what they do, and then I've got another one that I've incorporated as well, right? So real quick, I'm going to go over the one that's just a single page. It kind of gives you the gist of it again, but first, I asked for the household monthly income, credit score for all the adults. Again, if you've got 5 people living there, anybody over the age of 18 has to be on that application. Even if they're kids, doesn't matter. If you're 18 or older, you have to be there. And from what I understand, all of them have to have a credit score of 600 and above. But again, might be a little bit of leeway if the parents might be okay and the kids might not. I don't know. But again, that's something you're going to want to talk to the property management company before you go there and submit or show them, and then submit applications only to find out, right? So the tenant should know this information ahead of time. You're really vetting those tenants before you take them out there, guys. So credit score for all the adults, if there's any evictions, utilities and collections, or debts of past landlords. If they have evictions in the last year, credit under 500, or open balances from past landlords, I can't help them, says this one agent, okay? That's how clear. You've got to be clear cut with your boundaries, because otherwise you can help them or you can't. That's it. Don't get too caught up in rentals, because again, you're only making $150 to $500. You can't spin your wheels and spend so much time here, right? Let's see. If they have a credit between $500 to $599, I let them know I can help them, but there won't be as many options to choose from, and they'll have to pay 2 to 3 times the deposits wherever they get approved, right? This is when I have them sign the rental showing agreement. Most of the properties can only be held up to 14 days after the application was submitted and approved. So I don't start showing properties until we're 14 to 21 days out from the projected move-in date. Again, very concise. I'm not showing you 2 months out. I don't start showing properties until they have all of their move-in funds ready and that they're sure they can make a decision in a timely manner. I only show up to 4 total properties. That is it. Give me a list of what you like. I'll call on them. Here are your top 5. Which 4 do you want to look at? Okay, you guys do your business how you want. If you want to show them 20 properties, that's up to you. You want to show them only 3, that is up to you. Completely up to you. But you have to remember your time versus the money that you're getting, okay? The more time you spend with a rental client, only making $150, that's less time you're marketing yourself or spending with clients that you are selling or listing a property for way more than that, right? The day we're set to view the properties, I look at their favorite ones on the MLS. I reach out to the property management. I make sure that they don't have any other applications pending. If they do, I don't show the property. Again, this is kind of the consensus. I also make sure that they meet the requirements of the property. With the larger property managers, their requirements are usually written out, and you can't make them budge. Some of the property managers will put in the MLS, this is what we require, do not apply if you don't match this criteria, right? I will ask them what the referral fee is at that time. For the owner-managed properties and smaller companies, I let the listing agent know the income, the rental history, credit, etc., then ask if it's a waste of time for me to show the property. Because they're a little bit smaller, so they just didn't describe all of that and spell it out in the MLS. Usually they say it's okay, but with a larger deposit. Again, the less desirable your credit and everything is, the more money they're dishing out right at the beginning as deposits, right? But after a while, I've texted so many that I can't, but after a while, I've texted so many that now I can just go back and look at my past texts and know which ones will take the lower credit scores and what, so he's not having to call every single time. He's like, I know this company does this and this company does that. Since most companies have the same requirements for all of their properties, the fastest way to check on their favorite at once is to sort the favorites by office name. I thought that was interesting. So they'll give you like 5 properties and you're like, okay, well, this is the only one that says that they'll accept you with all of your credit stuff. So let's do a search just by that property company name. And here are all the rentals that they have out on the market. Do any of those interest you? So rather than just picking one and keep calling because they're just not qualifying. So that might be a better way to do that too. Once I hear back from all their favorites, I send them a full list of the properties that we can see, and then to pick their top 4 choices from that list. Then from there, we view those 4 that day, and hopefully they submit an application. If not, I'm done. Like that's it. Like, it's clear cut. I've given you options. and I move on, right? When they submit an application, I send an email to that listing agent with the rental referral and the W-9. That way, in case they chose my client, they already have all my information and I'm connected to that client. When they wait to hear, we then wait to hear back from them. Most likely they'll call the tenant directly and I'll only hear whether they're accepted through the tenants. Once accepted, the tenants will be required to put down their deposits and the property will be changed to under contract. Once the tenants move in, the MLS will be changed to leased. You will need a copy of that MLS sheet during the showing ER and leased for your SkySlope profile file. At this point is when you follow up with the listing agent to make sure they're sending your check. Some management companies only pay every 30 days. It's pretty cut and dry, but you guys are gonna do your rentals the way that you wanna do your rentals. If you wanna spend weeks looking at rentals for them, have at it. But you have to set realistic expectations. I had a renter one time, she said, oh, I like this one, but I want them to repaint the whole inside. Not gonna happen. I had another one that they had 4 bedrooms. One of the bedrooms they locked a dog in and it smelled like pet urine. They would not even clean the carpet. It's as is. You deal with it. They don't budge a lot with rentals. It's not like they're buying a house. I don't care that you don't like the color. I don't care that you don't like this or that or whatever. You're not getting a new sink. You know, things are dripping. Like, you want to make sure that it's livable and that there's no mold and there's, all of that stuff. You're still kind of looking around, but you're not as thorough as like, okay, I've got to write this on a contract. You don't. You're just like, hey guys, do you like it? Is there anything I need to alert the property management company of before we submit an application? But that's it. And then you just say, here, you like it? Here's where you go to apply. That's it. That's it. So I can't go into much great detail because, again, I don't have a ton of experience, but does anybody have any questions on what I talked about before we open it up to the agents that really do it? No? Okay, perfect. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to shut this off. The agents that are here get to actually have a one-on-one with some really thorough rental agents. So, but if you're watching this on YouTube, just email me if you want the printouts, and I'll be happy to get them for you.